Welcome back. You're watching ED Inside. There are more than 4,000 microfinance institutions in India providing credit to 67 million people. These MFIs come in different shapes and sizes, which means not all of them play by the same set of rules. And now the industry is going for profit with a vengeance. So is it the right time to tighten the regulations around the industry? Nikhil Shivadas finds out.
They are lenders of the last mile and have reached where India's age-old banking system could not. In the past few years, microfinance has grown multifold and outstanding loans have risen from a paltry 897 crore rupees in 2005 to over 11,170 crore rupees now. This pace of growth and critical mass has thrown up the need for greater scrutiny for the sector.
As the growth rate of microfinance increases, the ratio between those who take money for productive purposes and those who don't changes in favor of those who don't.
Clients are getting over-indebted and there are issues relating to client protection, consumer protection coming up. So it's a mixed bag. I mean, we should celebrate the fact that now there is a well-oiled mechanism to reach out to the poor. But the nature of how we reach out to the poor, I think there are issues and there are causes for concern.
It's very hard for organizations, when you're talking about something as serious as the financial sector, for organizations to regulate themselves. I think if you're regulating, I think the main issue is regulation around deposit taking. If you're a deposit taking institution, you should not be regulated by yourself or your peers. You should be regulated by an outside, independent, objective, professional and competent regulator.
That then clearly spells out why microfinance in India is in severe need of a regulatory framework. To be fair, it's not like this industry has been given a complete free hand. The RBI regulates MFIs that are NBFCs or those that are licensed as banks.
Set of rules that we have to follow, such as capital adequacy ratio, such as provisioning for bad debts using a certain formula, such as avoiding risk concentration, and several other prudential norms are there.
But there is no regulatory exercise undertaken apart from that. The RBI employs what experts call relaxed oversight in these cases where information is voluntarily supplied for audit. This flexible regulation has helped the sector grow, but it's not necessarily fair to the borrower.
So far, flexible approach to regulation, it made it possible for commercial microfinance institutions to expand. We should ensure the flexibility remains. The abuse that has taken place in some parts of the sector, that should be curbed.
77% of the sector in terms of loans outstanding is regulated. But the central bank does not ask these institutions to adhere to the same due diligence standards that are used for mainstream financial institutions like banks. That's not all. In terms of numbers, just 17% of the sector comes under regulatory oversight. 8% is under benevolent oversight and the balance 75% is not regulated at all. Since there are over 4,000 entities in this sector, it's nearly impossible for the RBI to micro-regulate the sector. So far, the RBI has only strictly regulated deposit-taking institutions. Credit-only businesses have been under relaxed oversight. But all this could change if the proposed microfinance bill, which talks of an independent regulator, is passed. That bill is waiting Parliament approval for 2 years and talks of making NABARD the regulator of the sector.
NABARD has enough experience in this field to act as a regulator, and on behalf of RBI we do supervision for cooperatives and RRBs. So NABARD does fit the qualification required for this purpose. Now it's for government to decide who will be regulator.
But here too, only those that mobilize savings will be required to register. The others will continue to remain unregulated. From macro issues to the heart of the matter, or interest rates. Many believe that if interest rates are not kept under check, these institutions land up exploiting the poor pretty much like predatory lenders.
I fundamentally feel that there has to be an interest rate cap. This will bring in a lot of sanitation in the industry. Today, in the absence of cap, different players are charging different interest rates, and there has been lots of misunderstanding.
But there are many who disagree, saying that as the market grows and players compete with each other, interest rates are bound to come down drastically.
We have just lowered our interest rate
to 26% from 30% on a declining balance. And now the for-profit MFIs who are competing with us, which are about 20 in number in Eastern UP and Bihar, are struggling.
And as long as there is value in the proposition, the RBI is not worried.
Look at what their opportunity cost is, or look at what are the other options available for these people of very small means to borrow. It's really the money lender. So if you look at that cost and look at the cost that the microfinance companies are charging, then you'll find that there is still release of value in that proposition.
But the RBI needs to do more than that, because the global microfinance market is changing fast.
The biggest game changer in global microfinance now is the movement towards savings and not just focusing on credit. And with the lack of willingness of the RBI to allow microfinance institutions, even those that are regulated, to mobilize savings deposits, that really limits an MFI's ability to provide a full range of financial services.
But that will not happen anytime soon, because while the Reserve Bank of India has a soft stance on regulating MFIs, it's pushing banks to meet financial inclusion targets in the form of more savings accounts. And so MFIs will have to wait for a long time to start mobilizing savings, which in turn means that formal regulations still elude the sector, and MFIs will just have to settle for being for credit-only institutions.
There's no doubt that the industry needs some reining in. But is commercializing MFIs the answer? We bring you a debate on the other side of this break. Stay with us.